The ship was silent. It floated slowly near a dark asteroid field, its lights blinking weakly like a dying star. Inside the ship, 3 girls from the Velari species sat close together, their faces pale with fear. The Velari were known across the stars as peaceful beings. They loved science, songs, and starlight, but they were not warriors, and they were not engineers. Lyra sat at the control panel. Her dark eyes scanned the screen for any signal, any response. But space was quiet. Too quiet. She had sent a distress call hours ago, hoping anyone would answer. Behind her, Mina tried to stay positive. "Maybe someone is on the way," she said softly. Her hands were stained with engine dust. She had tried fixing the ship, but the tools were too few, and the damage too great. The energy core had melted down, and half of the systems were offline. Air was running low. Time was running out. Sira sat by the window, her hands shaking. She was the youngest and smallest of them all, barely trained in communication systems. She watched the stars, hoping to see a rescue craft appear. But only rocks and shadows drifted past. Lyra spoke, her voice calm but tired. "If no one comes in the next hour, we must save oxygen. We shut down more rooms." Mina looked at her in worry. "Then we only have 2 rooms left with air." Sira turned to them suddenly. "Something is moving," she said. Outside the ship. They all rushed to the window. A small pod, dark and round, was slowly floating toward them. It had no bright lights. It moved like a hunter in the dark, quiet and careful. Lyra's heart sank. "That's not a Velari ship." Mina's eyes widened. "It's human." Everyone had heard stories. Humans were new to the galactic map. They were fast learners, strong survivors, but many called them ruthless. Some said they fixed machines like magic, but others said they never helped anyone unless there was something to gain. The pod clicked softly as it latched onto the outer hull. "Should we lock the doors?" Sira whispered. Lyra hesitated. "If he wanted to harm us, we'd already be gone." A few minutes later, the sound of boots echoed in the hallway. A figure stepped through the emergency airlock, wearing a gray engineering suit. His helmet lifted with a hiss, showing a human face calm, quiet, and unreadable. The man looked around the dim hallway. He said nothing, just opened a metal case on his back and pulled out tools. Then he walked straight to the engine room without asking. "Who are you?" Lyra asked, stepping behind him. "Ren," he said simply, without turning. His voice was soft but strong. "What are you doing here?" Mina asked, more curious than afraid. Ren opened a panel and examined the wires. "I got your signal," he replied. "Ship's broken. I fix broken things." The girls exchanged confused looks. "Is that all?" Sira asked quietly. Ren didn't answer. He was already cutting wires and removing melted parts. His hands moved fast but careful, like someone who had done this 1,000 times. Lyra stepped closer. "You're alone?" "Yes." "No team?" No one knew what to say next. Ren was focused, quiet, and didn't ask for help. He just worked. In 1 hour, he restored the backup power. Lights turned on. The air became fresh again. The ship felt alive. "He fixed the life support," Mina whispered. Sira looked amazed. He didn't even need a scanner, but Lyra still felt unsure. Why would a human help strangers? What did he want? Ren stood up and looked at a warning screen. "Thrusters damaged," he said. "Need to check outside." "There's no tether line," Lyra warned. "I have a magnet boot," Ren replied, as if that solved everything. He walked to the airlock again, pulled on his helmet, and exited into space. The girls ran to the window. They saw him float along the side of the ship, holding onto the metal like it was a ladder. He checked the thruster and took out small parts from a floating toolkit. He worked silently, in zero gravity, just him and the stars. "I don't understand," Mina said. He's alone, he's human, and he helps. Sira watched closely. He's not what I expected. Lyra stayed quiet. She was still unsure. She had studied humans in academy records, bold, clever, but always looking for something in return. Yet this one had fixed life support and now risked his life on the hull. And he had not even asked for food, credits, or help. Suddenly, Ren tapped on the window from outside. He pointed at the thruster. A small green light blinked twice. He fixed it. Mina said in shock. The human floated slowly to the airlock and disappeared from view. A minute later, he walked back into the ship, his suit dusty from the outside. He said nothing, just sat near the corner of the hallway and started checking his tools. The girls stood in silence, staring at him. He saved us, Sira said softly. Ren didn't look up. More work left, he said. Then I leave. Lyra looked at the human again. No pride, no demand. No fear, just quiet hands that fixed broken things. The air inside the ship felt better now. Lights were working again. The temperature had become normal. But the air was not peaceful. The alien girls kept glancing at the quiet human who now sat near the wall, fixing a small tool with steady hands. Ren didn't talk much. He only said what was needed. He had repaired the life support and power systems within 1 hour, then gone outside and fixed the left thruster in space without fear. Now he worked on his own things, not asking for food or thanks. Lyra, the pilot, still didn't trust him. She crossed her arms and stood near the control screen, watching his every move. What is he doing now? She whispered to Mina. Mina shrugged. I think cleaning tools. Sira stood beside them, holding a warm cup. He didn't eat or drink anything since he came. Maybe humans don't need food, Mina joked. No, Lyra said firmly. He's hiding something. Like what? Sira asked. I don't know, Lyra replied. But humans don't help for free. Everyone knows that. Still, no one could ignore what he had done. Without him, they would still be freezing and waiting for oxygen to run out. Ren had saved them, but no one understood why. Suddenly, Ren stood up. He walked straight to the engine room again. The girls followed. He opened the engine panel again and stared at the readings. He didn't speak. His eyes moved across numbers, blinking lights, and cracked wires. Finally he spoke. Main core is unstable. Short fix won't last. How long do we have? Lyra asked. Maybe 1 day, Ren answered. Maybe less. Mina stepped forward. Can we fix it? Ren looked at her and nodded. Yes, but parts are damaged. We need energy boost for full restart. What kind of energy? Sira asked. Ren pointed to a map on the screen. There is a storm nearby. Magnetic field. Can charge the backup coils. Lyra looked at the map. The storm was spinning near a broken moon. It was dangerous. Flying into a storm could tear the ship apart. That's suicide, Lyra said. Ren didn't argue. He just said, only option. Mina looked at him with wonder. You want to fly into that storm? Ren replied, I will fly, you watch. Lyra stepped forward quickly. Wait, you're not touching our controls. Ren looked at her calmly, then learned fast. Before Lyra could speak again, the ship shook slightly. A warning alarm beeped. The damaged core was heating again. Sira's face turned pale. We don't have time, Mina nodded slowly. We have to trust him. Lyra hesitated. Everything inside her said no. But then she looked at Sira and at Mina and finally at Ren, who had come alone, helped without asking, and now was offering to fly into a storm just to save their ship. She took a deep breath. Fine, we'll go. Ren nodded and walked to the pilot's seat. Lyra didn't stop him this time. She sat beside him, watching closely. Strap in, Ren said. Storm is not gentle. The girls rushed to their seats and fastened belts. Ship turned slowly and began moving toward the storm. Outside the window, space turned darker. The broken moon nearby gave off blue light. Flashes of energy crackled across the storm, like lightning dancing in space. "Is this safe?" Sira asked nervously. "No," Ren replied. The ship entered the edge of the storm. Instantly, the lights flickered. The ship shook. "Hold steady," Ren said. Hands firm on the controls. Lyra watched as he moved the ship through the storm like a bird through wind. He wasn't scared. His eyes followed the waves of energy, avoiding the strongest pulses and guiding the ship toward the center. "This ship is not built for this," Mina shouted. "It is now," Ren said, flipping a switch he had installed. Earlier, a metal plate moved over the engine core, blocking the worst pulses. They reached the heart of the storm. The ship rocked hard. Sparks flew from one of the panels. But Ren stayed calm. "Start the collector," he told Lyra. She pressed the button. The backup coils began to glow. Energy from the storm flowed into the ship like water into a dry river. "It's working," Sira said in surprise. The storm grew stronger. The ship shook again. One of the rear wings spun slightly off balance. "We're losing control." Lyra shouted. Double quotes, "Trust the weight," Ren said. He shifted the thrusters carefully, using pressure and angle. The ship balanced. Again. Mina looked at the readings. "Power is rising. Almost full." The lights on the control panel turned green one by one. The energy core stopped blinking red. Air systems were stable. "Power returned." Then Ren said, "Time to leave." He turned the ship away from the storm, riding the outer edge like a wave. The ship flew out into clear space again, glowing with new life. Silence followed. Everyone sat quietly, breathing hard, still shaking from the stress. Finally, Sira whispered, "We're alive." Ren stood up. "Core is safe. You can fly home." He walked back to his corner, picked up his tools, and sat down again like nothing big had happened. The alien girls looked at him in shock. Their eyes were full of questions. No one spoke for a while. Mina finally asked, "Why did you help us?" Ren looked up at her. His answer was simple. "Because you needed help." No demands, no price. No pride. Just a man, his tools, and a broken ship he chose to fix. The ship floated quietly through space, far from the storm now. Inside, the lights were steady, and the air was calm. But the hearts of the three alien girls were full of thoughts. The human, Ren, had flown them through a storm, risked his life, and saved their ship, but he never smiled, never asked for thanks. Lyra watched him from her seat. He sat near the wall again, opening a small case. He took out metal pieces and tools. His hands moved smoothly, fixing something else. "He never stops," Lyra whispered. Mina nodded. "I think he's fixing his own gear now." Sira leaned in. He didn't even sleep. The three girls gathered around a table in the control room. They spoke in soft voices, still unsure what to think of Ren. "Do you still think he's hiding something?" Mina asked Lyra. Lyra looked at the monitor screen that showed Ren's small pod, still attached to their ship. "He could have left after fixing the power," she said. "But he stayed. He's not like the stories," Sira said. "He didn't shout. He didn't take anything." "Maybe not all humans are the same," Mina said. "Maybe this one just wants to help." Lyra looked at them both. She didn't reply. Her mind was busy with questions she couldn't answer. Suddenly, the ship shook lightly. The girls jumped up and ran to the window. Outside, a cloud of debris was floating toward the ship. Small rocks and broken metal from the storm's edge were hitting the outer hull. Ren was already moving. He grabbed his helmet, locked his tool belt, and walked to the airlock. "You're going out again?" Lyra asked. Ren nodded. "Need to. Check right thruster. Impact was strong." "We can help," Mina started. Ren shook his head. "Too risky. Stay inside." Before they could argue, He opened the hatch and stepped out into the dark. The girls rushed to the control panel and watched through the external cameras. Ren moved along the ship's side like he belonged there. His boots held strong with magnets, and his hands moved fast. He checked the thruster, wiped off dust, and began removing the damaged cover. A sharp piece of metal floated by. It hit Ren's arm, slicing through his sleeve. Did he get hurt? Sira asked in fear. The camera showed Ren pause. He looked at his arm, opened a small box from his belt, and sprayed a sealant over the wound. Then, without panic, he returned to his work. He's bleeding, Mina said. And still working. He doesn't even flinch, Lyra whispered. Minutes passed. Ren removed a broken coil, replaced it with a new one, and sealed the cover. Then, he floated to the window and tapped on it. The girls ran to see him. He pointed to the thruster. A green light blinked steadily. Ren gave a small nod and turned back toward the airlock. Inside the ship, he walked in silently, placed his tools down, and sat again. You're hurt, Mina said. It's sealed. Ren replied. You didn't even stop. Sira said softly. Can't stop when ship's still broken, Ren answered. There was a long pause. Lyra stepped forward. You're not what I expected. Ren looked at her, waiting. She continued. We thought humans were loud, demanding, always asking for rewards. Ren stayed quiet for a moment, then replied, Many are. Not them. Mina sat down across from him. Why do you fix things, Ren? He looked at her and said simply, Because broken things deserve another chance. Those words made the room quiet. For the first time the girls saw more than just a quiet man. They saw someone who understood machines like living things, someone who cared, not with words, but with work. Later that evening, the girls prepared a small meal. Though their food was simple and Valari style, Mina brought a small tray to Ren. Here, she said. You must eat something. Ren looked at it. No need. You helped us, she said. Please. Ren nodded once and took the tray. He ate slowly, still silent. Sira watched him. Where did you learn all this? Earth, Ren said. Engineering Guild. Sent to study alien tech. Alone? Alone? Lyra asked. He nodded. They said I work best that way. Don't you miss home? Mina asked. Ren didn't answer. He finished eating, placed the tray gently aside, and stood up. Then he said, Tomorrow. I'll check your core one last time. Then I go. You don't have to leave, Sira said quickly. You could rest more, Mina added. Ren shook his head. Other ships need fixing. Lyra stepped forward. We don't even know your story. Ren looked at her and gave the smallest smile. My story is simple, he said. I fix what's broken, then I move on. With that, he walked to the engine room again. This time, the girls didn't follow. They just watched him go, realizing something deep and true. He wasn't ruthless. He wasn't cold. He was just quiet lightning. The ship now moved smoothly through open space, the hum of systems calm and steady. Energy was stable, lights were bright, and the air was full of life again. But the mood inside was still thoughtful. The three alien girls were sitting together in the main room, thinking about the quiet human who had changed everything. Ren was in the engine room again. No one had asked him to stay, but he stayed anyway. No one had asked him to keep working, but he still did. Sira looked toward the hallway. He's been inside that room all morning, she said. What is he doing now? Mina asked. Maybe he's checking the core again, Lyra guessed. Or just making sure it doesn't fail. Mina stood up. Let's ask him. Lyra raised an eyebrow. He doesn't like talking. That's fine, Mina smiled. We'll talk. He can listen. They walked toward the engine room. Together. Inside, Ren was crouched near the main core. Wires were spread out across the floor, glowing softly. A small screen showed spinning graphs and numbers. He didn't even turn when they entered. "Hello," Mina said gently. Ren gave a small nod. His hands continued working. "We brought water," Sira said, placing a cool bottle on the table beside him. "Thanks," he said without looking up. Lyra watched him closely. "What are you doing now?" "Balancing power load," Ren replied. "If energy shifts during flight, system could shut down again. Did we miss that in our checks?" Mina asked, feeling a bit embarrassed. Ren looked up. "Not your fault. Ship model not built for storms." Sira sat down on a nearby crate. "You know so much, but you never ask anything. You don't even ask about us." Ren paused for a moment. Then he said, "You're alive. That's enough." Lyra sat down too. "You're different from what we were told. You're not greedy. You're not loud. You don't even ask for reward." Ren replied calmly, "Some think help must be paid." "I don't agree." "Why?" Mina asked. Ren looked at her. "Because sometimes things break, not because of fault, but because of time, space, or chance. If I can fix it, I do. No reason needed." The girls went quiet. It was a simple answer, but it felt deep. Ren continued, "Metal is like people. If you care for it, it lasts. If you ignore it, it breaks." Sira smiled gently. "You don't just fix ships, you respect them." Ren didn't reply, but his face softened slightly. Later that day, Ren called them all to the main screen. "Look," he said, pointing to a map. "Your ship has one last problem." The girls leaned in. "What is it?" Lyra asked. "The stabilizer," Ren said, showing a part near the engine. "It's cracked. It shakes when ship moves fast. Could damage core again." "Can we replace it?" Mina asked. "Not from inside," Ren replied. "Must be done from crawl tube near reactor." Lyra looked concerned. "That's the most dangerous part of the ship. Heat levels rise fast there," Ren nodded. "I will go." "No," Mina said. "We'll help this time. You helped us," Sira added. "Let us help too." Ren looked at them quietly. Then he opened a storage box and pulled out safety gear. "Then wear gloves," he said. They prepared quickly. The crawl tube was narrow, hot, and full of old wires. It was only wide enough for one person at a time. Ren went first, crawling in slowly with a small toolkit. The girls followed behind, careful and quiet. Inside, the air was thick. Red warning lights blinked above. The metal walls were warm. They could hear the quiet hum of the reactor nearby. "Stay low," Ren said, "and don't touch the side pipes." He reached the broken stabilizer. It was shaking slightly, just as he had said. He placed one hand on it and pulled out a wrench. "Hold this panel," he told Mina. She pressed it gently while Ren unscrewed the bolts. Sweat ran down her forehead. "Now slide in the new piece," he said. Lyra passed it from behind. Ren took it and connected it smoothly, locking it into place. "Done," he said after a few minutes. "All ready?" Sira asked. "Yes," Ren replied. "Let's go." They crawled back out, one by one. When they reached the main hallway, they sat on the floor, breathing hard but smiling. "I can't believe we did it," Mina said. "You did well," Ren said simply. For the first time, Lyra smiled at him. "You're not just an engineer. You're a teacher too." Ren gave a small shrug. "I just share what I know." The girls looked at each other. It was strange. At first, they thought Ren was dangerous. Then they thought he was strange. Now, they saw something else. He was someone who didn't speak much, didn't ask for reward, and didn't leave when others would. He stayed, worked, helped, and taught them things they didn't even learn in training. "You're not like anyone we've met before," Sira said. Ren stood up and looked out the window. "Neither are you," he said. 2 days had passed since Ren fixed the stabilizer. The ship now moved without shaking. All systems worked well. The girls could finally breathe with ease. They smiled more. They even laughed sometimes. But Ren stayed the same calm, focused. Quiet, he worked all day. Sometimes he fixed small things no one noticed. Sometimes he just stared at the ship's systems, as if listening to them. One morning, Ren stood in front of the main screen again. The girls were eating a light meal when he called them. "There's something I need to show you," he said. They walked over quickly. The screen showed a large space cloud. It looked like a slow-turning storm, full of blue and red energy waves. Lightning jumped across the edges. "That's a gravity storm," Lyra said. "It pulls in everything nearby," Ren nodded. "And inside it, there's a ship." The screen zoomed in. A small Velari cargo ship was stuck inside the storm, floating helplessly. "They're trapped," Sira said with a gasp. "Why were they even near a storm like that?" Mina asked. "Same reason we were near danger," Lyra said. "Maybe they didn't have a choice." Ren turned to them. "We can reach them." Lyra looked shocked. "You want to go in there?" "They won't last much longer," Ren said. "Their ship is spinning. Signals are weak." "But the storm will damage our systems," Mina warned. Ren pointed at the screen. "I've already changed the flight pattern. If we enter at this angle, we stay near the edge. Less pressure, less pull." Lyra crossed her arms. "We're not a rescue ship." "No," Ren agreed. "But we're working." Sira looked nervous. "What if we get pulled in too?" Ren gave a calm answer. "Then I'll pull us out." The room went silent. After a long pause, Lyra spoke. "Let's do it." Sira looked worried, but nodded. "They need help." "I'll prepare tools," Mina said. The ship moved closer to the storm. From a distance, it looked peaceful. But as they approached, the screen began to shake. Waves of energy pushed and pulled like ocean tides. Ren took control of the ship. His hands moved across the panel quickly, entering storm edge in 30 seconds. He said. The girls strapped into their seats. "Power shields now," Lyra said. "Shields active," Mina replied. The ship entered the edge of the storm. The windows glowed with flashing lights. The ship shook as strong magnetic fields pushed against the hull. Ren held the controls tight. "Keep the core balanced." "I'm watching it," Lyra replied, eyes on the panel. "Emergency dampeners ready," Sira said, her hands shaking a little. "You're doing fine," Ren said without looking back. The ship moved deeper. They saw the Velari cargo ship up ahead, spinning slowly. It looked damaged, with burn marks along the side. "They're still alive," Mina said. "Heat readings show life inside." "Bringing us close," Ren said. The ship tilted, riding along the storm's curve. The balance was hard, but Ren moved with precision. He flew through energy waves like he had done this many times before. "Distance 10 meters, Lyra said. Ren flipped a switch. A magnet arm extended from their ship and locked onto the cargo vessel. "Got them," he said. Suddenly, the storm pushed harder. A wave of energy hit their ship, throwing it sideways. "Stabilizers dropping." Sira shouted. "Hold the arm," Ren ordered. "We can't lose them now." Lyra pressed buttons quickly. "I'm redirecting power." Mina ran to the back panel and manually reset the wing controls. Another wave hit. The ship tilted again, but the magnet arm held strong. Ren didn't panic. He turned the ship slowly, guiding both vessels out of the storm. His jaw was tight, eyes locked on the screen. Inch by inch, they moved away from the storm's grip. Outside, the blue lightning faded. The shaking slowed. The stars returned. "We're out!" Sira cried in relief. Cheers filled the ship. Even Lyra smiled wide. "They're safe now," Mina said. "We did it." Ren stood up. "Prepare the dock. I'll check their injuries." "You're going in?" Lyra asked. Ren nodded. "I fix things. That includes people." Hours later, the rescued Velari crew sat in the lounge, resting and thanking the girls. Their captain, an older alien named Orin, bowed deeply to Ren. "We thought no one would come," he said. Ren just replied, "You weren't alone." Lyra watched the scene and finally understood something. Ren wasn't just good with machines. He was good with people too. He helped quietly, without pride, and left only after everything was working again. Later, as the rescued crew prepared to transfer to a passing Velari patrol ship, Orin turned to Ren one last time. "You are not what the galaxy says about humans," he said. Ren replied softly, "Not every story is true." When the patrol ship left, Mina looked at Ren. "You didn't have to save them." "I did," Ren said. "Because we could." Sira asked, "Do you always help strangers?" Ren looked out the window at the stars. "If I didn't, I'd be the broken one." The girls said nothing, but their hearts were full of respect, not just for a human, but for a hero who fixed more than machines. The ship was quiet again. The storm was far behind. The rescued crew had been safely transferred. All systems were running well, but something still felt unfinished. Ren stood near the engine room, looking at the monitor. A small red icon blinked in the corner. Mina walked in and noticed it. "What's wrong now?" Ren pointed at the screen. "Stabilizer bolt is loose, not the one we replaced." Another one deep inside the back panel. Lyra walked over. "Can it be fixed from here?" "No," Ren said. "Too deep. Needs manual." "Replacement. Is it serious?" Sira asked. Ren nodded. "If it breaks, ship will shake again. Core might shut down during warp travel." Mina frowned. "That sounds dangerous." "It is," Ren replied. "Someone has to go into the vent system near the reactor. It's small and hot. Takes time. Hard to breathe inside." Lyra crossed her arms. "You've done enough. Let us handle it." Ren looked at her. "You've never been inside that section." "We can learn," Lyra said, her voice firm. Ren was silent for a moment. Then he opened a storage box and took out heat suits and gloves. "Then wear these," he said. The vent system was dark and narrow. Only one person could crawl inside at a time. Ren led the way. Behind him came Lyra, then Mina, then Sira. All of them wore special suits with cooling patches and oxygen packs. Metal walls surrounded them. The air was heavy. Pipes ran above and below, humming with energy. "Careful," Ren said. "No sudden moves. If you touch the wrong pipe, system might shut down." They moved slowly, inch by inch. After a few minutes, Ren stopped near a corner. He pointed at a metal plate with a blinking red light. "That's the bolt," he said. "It's loose, needs full replacement." Lyra crawled beside him. "What do I do?" Ren handed her a tool. "Hold this. Turn counterclockwise, slowly." Lyra followed his instructions. The old bolt came loose. A loud clink echoed in the vent. Mina passed the new bolt forward. Ren placed it carefully, then locked it tight. "Done," he said. But just as they started to crawl back, the ship gave a small jolt. The lights in the vent flickered. Sira gasped. "What was that?" Ren checked his scanner. "Pressure spike. System adjusting." "We need to move fast," Mina said. "No," Ren said. "Move steady. If we rush, someone might fall or hit." A pipe. The vent groaned slightly as heat rose. Ren turned to the girls. "Breathe slowly. Follow my path." They followed him through the tight space, step by step. It took time, but finally they reached the exit hatch. Ren opened it, and fresh air poured in. They crawled out, one by one, removing their helmets. "We made it," Sira said, falling to the floor and smiling. "I never want to go in there." "Again," Mina added, laughing. "You did well," Ren said. Lyra sat beside him. "You let us help this time." "You were ready," he replied. There was a pause. Then Mina asked, "Why do you always go alone? Isn't it hard?" Ren looked down at his gloves. "I'm used to it. But why?" Sira asked. "Don't you have a team back home?" Ren shook his head. "Not anymore." The room became quiet. Lyra gently asked, "What happened?" Ren looked at the engine core. Its lights glowed softly, now steady, strong. "My first crew got caught in a solar blast. We lost power. I fixed what I could." It wasn't enough. None of the girls spoke. "The silence said everything," Ren continued. "After that, I chose to work alone. Machines don't ask questions. They don't blame. They just need fixing." "But people need fixing too," Mina said softly. Ren looked at her, surprised. "You helped us," she added. "Not just the ship." "You helped us." Lyra nodded. "We're not scared anymore." Sira smiled. "We even learned how to fix things." Ren looked at them. Something in his eyes changed. He didn't smile wide, but his face softened. "Then maybe I fixed more than I thought," he said quietly. Later, the girls prepared a warm drink in the common room. They set a cup near Ren's seat, even though he never asked for anything. He sat with them this time, not far away, but close. They talked about their next destination, a Volari station just 2 jumps away. They had to deliver data they had collected from nearby systems. With Ren's repairs, their ship could now reach it safely. "What will you do after this?" Lyra asked Ren. "Find another ship," he replied. "You don't stop, do you?" Mina asked. Ren shook his head. "Too many ships. Too many broken things. Too few like you," Sira said. Ren looked at them. "You're strong now." "You don't need me," Mina smiled. "Maybe not forever. But we'll remember." Lyra added, "And if we meet another human like you, we'll know not to judge too fast." Ren gave the smallest nod. "Good." Outside, the stars continued to shine. Inside, the ship was whole again, not just in metal, but in spirit. The ship sailed smoothly through the calm stars. The damage was fully repaired. The girls were no longer afraid. The once ruthless human engineer, Ren, had changed everything, not just the ship, but the way they saw humans. Lyra stood at the window, watching the blue glow of a nearby planet. She felt a strange warmth in her chest. This journey had been difficult. The storm, the broken systems, the danger. But now hope was stronger than ever. Behind her, Mina and Sira were busy preparing the ship for landing. Ren sat quietly in the corner, checking his tools one last time. Suddenly, Lyra spoke softly. "Ren, will you stay with us after we reach the station?" The human looked up, surprised. "I didn't plan to. My work is elsewhere." Mina smiled gently. "But we need you. You saved us. You taught us." Sira nodded. "You're not alone here." Ren studied their faces. He thought about his lonely years, fixing ships and running from memories. "I don't belong here," he said quietly. "You belong wherever you choose," Lyra replied. "Maybe for once, you don't have to be alone." The human hesitated. Then, slowly he smiled, the smallest but real. "Maybe I'll stay a little while," he said. The ship entered the atmosphere of the station's planet. Lights blinked below, welcoming travelers. The girls gathered at the controls, excitement in their eyes. "Almost home," Mina whispered. The ship touched down softly. The doors opened. Volari crew and humans alike waited to greet them. Whispers spread about the ruthless human engineer who saved an entire ship. Ren stepped out with the girls. For the first time, he didn't feel like an outsider. An older human approached him. "Ren, we heard about you. You're a legend." Ren shook his head. "Just fixing things." The older man laughed. "You're more than that." Lyra smiled. "You changed us. You changed the story." Mina added, "We'll tell everyone about the real humans." Sira looked up at Ren. "Will you teach us more?" Ren looked around at the faces filled with hope and trust. He nodded. "Yes, I will." Days passed. Ren worked with the Volari engineers. He shared his knowledge. The girls learned fast. They fixed small ships together, talked about space, and laughed like old friends. One evening, Ren stood outside, under the stars with Lyra, Mina, and Sira. "Thank you," Lyra said. "For what?" Ren asked. "For not being ruthless." Mina smiled. "For showing us kindness without asking," Sira added. Ren looked at the sky. "I was lost once. Fixing machines helped me find a path. But finding friends, that's better." The stars above seemed to shine brighter. Lyra looked at Ren. "You're more than an engineer. You're family." Ren smiled warmly. A new journey was about to begin, not one of broken ships, storms, or danger, but of friendship, trust, and hope. In the vastness of space, sometimes the strongest thing is not power or skill, but kindness. And a human named Ren showed the galaxy what that meant.